Oh yeah, I accept the war declared by pedophiles. How many of you out there agree with me? Let me repeat myself. I accept the war declared by pedophiles. They started it, and they'll never stop. They represent an evil, a pure evil that just happens to be within some people. And they'll never stop. All we can really do as a society is to isolate them once they spring up, like weeds, and eradicate them. The only reason I don't call for death on every one of them is because of the potential for false witness. We know there's false witness out there. We know there's people out there that have been called pedophiles who are not. You know, we don't want to admit that. No one wants to come to the pedophiles' rescue, but the reality is some people have been falsely accused. Nevertheless, for those tried, found guilty, the first thing we're going to do is the incarceration fronts. This actually goes to the mental health fronts and mental health incompetence, economic treason. The reality is, these guys are currently, mostly guys, or some women, are getting to go to these special sexual offender detention centers that are considered a mental health thing. And why did they go there? Well, because the law wasn't strong enough. As if some of the politicians were pedophiles themselves. So they made it so that the pedophiles could get out once in a while. So these special sexual offenders are the ones declared so violent they might actually reoffend. Gee, you'd think you would have made the law strong enough to send them away forever in the first place and avoid this whole mental health mess, which is all part of the state of Washington mess, by the way. And we have some people from Boston here, for example, who came over here. One guy raped a little boy. He wanted to have a little boy for lunch. Just screwed him all up and killed him. And now he's in our prison, fresh out of the Boston prison area, or out of the Massachusetts prison system. And we heard about what happened back there. It all goes to those mental health fronts. Back there in Massachusetts, this guy over here in Washington State that came from their prison system and raped one of our little kids up in the burbs and then killed him, kind of thing. Oh, and killed his roommate, too, if I remember right. It turned out over there in Massachusetts, these guys were performing sexual functions for their counselors. They were also getting Social Security checks because they're mentally ill. It was all being billed back here, for the most part, I shouldn't say all, but 90% of it probably, to Medicare, Medicaid. Yeah, you catch that? You're paying for this. You're wondering what in the hell the problem is with Medicare, Medicaid? It's the mental health industry for big time, in a big way. You take a hunk out of this, you're going to save at least 10 to 20% on your current situation. Okay, mental health, incompetence, or economic treason. I addressed this before. It's economic treason. These guys know what they're doing doesn't work, and so they falsify their records. They falsify their data. Oh, it's like the damn general saying, we're within inches of victory. No, you're not. You're not even damn close. And these people, 87% reoffend under their care. And it takes a super twisted doctor to sit there for 2,080 hours a year to study freaks and listen to them talk about how they rape, sodomize little children, how they cut them up and everything else. The reality is these doctors are getting off on it, and they're billing you to it. In the medical industry, I'm really pissed at you guys for being acquiescent to these people. You know, these people, you're not going to be able to treat these people, these pedophiles. You can't treat them. They've already proven it. The only way you're going to knock off their recidivism rate is if you lop off their cocks. And they have proven that. Only a 2% reoffense rate when they've been castrated physically. Not with some chemical, but physically had it lopped off, as opposed to an 87% rate under mental health. By God, they had about that same rate before mental health got in there. Probably less. At any rate, public access, friends. This is really important. We've got to keep the message to the children. We're already doing a good job at it. I heard a campaign talk about if an adult comes to you kids and says to you, hey, can you show me directions with all the adults in the world that they could go and ask that same question to, this is a bad adult. We've got to keep educating our children. There's no doubt about it. Education is definitely one way of protecting them, and we got to tell them, don't be afraid. Speak up. Stand tall. You go to an adult, most adults would just as soon kill these pedophiles right along with myself. But we're going to follow it the American way and give them due process. And considering it's a crime, not a mental health thing, this whole situation is eliminated. The incarceration fronts, they're going to the big house with the big boys. They want to commit violent sexual acts, tell it to their new roommates, the guys that just slaughtered their family. Mental health front, we got other job opportunities for those of you who qualify. But if you're there to study sexual offenders, forget it. There's no more studying them. It's over with. We've studied them enough. And look what you've done to our neighborhoods in the meantime. You've had us living in apprehension, had us living in fear due to your quackery. And I do call it quackery. Wait till you find out my history. Whoa. Then you'll realize I'm speaking from a position of intimate authority on this. Public access firms, once again, we educate the kids. Now, juveniles, we have some problems with some kids. We know that there's kids out there that prey on chicken hawk adults. Absolutely. I could actually give you a couple of examples, but the bottom line is that there's, especially the girls I've noticed, but guys too, they go after these older adults that are stupid enough to play with jailbait. These juveniles will push it and push it and push it. And this is, we're going to really get into it and tough on teenage screwballs. But these juveniles, they're gone off the streets. We're going to round them up. We've got places for them to go, and we're going to take care of it. And this brings us to prostitution in general. Prostitution as an adult program, by regulating it, not legalizing. We're not talking about, and nothing's legal. You can't go flying through the stop sign. That's not legal. By regulating prostitution, we're not only going to bring in a whole bunch of money while getting the kids, we put the adults in facilities, licensed for incognito prostitution services, which gives the kids nowhere to go. They can't hide amongst the adults. We see them, we bust them. We see a trick going down the road looking at this juvenile. That trick is a pedophile. Boom, he's gone, she's gone. They're operating outside the law. Or, she's gone, he's gone. It's not meant to be gender biased by any means. We know that there's cougars that prey on young men as well. So at any rate, by regulating prostitution, we get everything in the fold. Plus, we're going to get a massive grip on STDs. Will we ever control STDs fully? Probably not. Absolutely not. I feel comfortable in saying that. But we will get a grip on it. And once again, we'll have a place for people that end up becoming school killers because they're the ones that all the chicks made fun of. Now they have a place to go get their nut besides their hand and take care of business legally. And there's going to be some protocols, we'll talk about that in a moment, that we're going to be looking as these prostitutes are doing their business with their tricks, who are doing their business, having fun like at the Mustang Ranch and the Bunny Ranch and everything else. While they're having their fun, we are going to be keeping a sharp eye out for those who have a propensity for violence. So this works. In the meantime, pedophiles, you're dust. And I can't say that enough.